Good morning. What is going on, everybody? So, as most of you know, if you've been following along, I eat what I call my Broku Loaf pretty much every single morning. But I guess I've gotten a bit of new followers and subscribers on here, which I really appreciate. Thank you guys. That I guess I haven't done a video of actually how to make that in a long time. So, for the OG followers, you've seen how I do this. For the new people, this is like my favorite meal. So I literally eat it all year long when I'm bulking, when I'm in prep, and you can make the macros fit your diet however you want. So today's leg day, so it is gonna be a little higher carb, but you can make it fit however you want. If all you get is a half a cup of oats, 40 grams, then you can make the loaf with that. Today, obviously, like I said, it's gonna be a little higher. So I'm gonna do 80 grams, let's go 80 grams of oats. And normally a higher carb day, I'd probably go more like 120 grams, but I'm gonna mix in a little bit of cream of rice as well. Honestly, I like it. I like the loaf better with oats than I do with cream of rice, but mixing them is pretty delicious, and the cream of rice gives it a pretty cool flavor too. Like, you can mix it up. I'm doing the blueberry muffin today, but I forgot to zero it out. So we're gonna get 80 grams of cream of rice as well. So I got the blueberry muffin. I'm gonna add blueberries on top of that. So like I said, there's so many different ways to make this. I'll do oats with a banana and then put almond butter on top. That's probably one of my favorite ones. That's like goat when it comes to the loaf. So then I'm gonna do 230 grams of egg whites, which is 1 cup. And you can do this with just egg whites. You don't have to use whey protein. So if I wanted 50 grams of protein, I would do 460 grams of egg whites if I didn't want to use whey protein. But I do feel like the protein just gives it a little better texture cooking it and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do the other 25 grams of protein for my breakfast with a scoop of whey isolate. I'm gonna use vanilla. If I was doing the banana, I would use chocolate. Because then you got chocolate, banana, and then you add the almond butter on top. That's like an unbeatable combo. So well, there's that. I'm gonna do 200 grams of blueberries with this. Ooh, there it is. 209 grams of blueberries with this. But like I said, I've made this so many different ways. Do it with blueberries, do it with strawberries, do it with banana, oats, cream of rice, all egg whites, or half egg whites, half protein powder. You can make it and experiment with it. I've had people message me and say that they've done it with like pumpkin puree or something, like canned pumpkin or whatever, something like that, instead of the fruit. I've had people message me all kinds of things that they've put in there. I've actually done, I have this apple pie cream of rice, and I've actually sliced up tiny slices of apple and put it in there as well. Little cinnamon, freaking delicious. So you can experiment and make this however you want, but the basic principle is egg whites, oats, whatever fruit you want, protein powder, blend it all up, and then you'll pour the mixture into a Tupperware container and just microwave it. It's about as simple as it gets. And I started doing this because you save so much time. Typically, the reason I don't show myself making this all the time is because I make this at night, and then I just put this, after it's blended, in the fridge, and all the moisture thickens up and soaks into the oats, kind of like overnight oats. And then I'll just take it out of the fridge in the morning, give it a quick little stir, and then throw it in the microwave. And it saves so much time in the morning. I can do that while I go brush my teeth, take a shower, get ready for work, and I come out and it's already made. Or throw it in there while I'm doing my cardio. And then when I'm done with my cardio, breakfast is there. So if I do the banana, I will add a bit more water. With all the frozen berries, that's probably enough moisture to, if you were using about 40 to 60 grams of oats, maybe even 80. But since I have so much cream of rice and oats in there, I'm gonna add a little bit more water. Not even gonna measure it, to be honest. It's probably maybe half a cup of water. And then it just goes right on the blender. Give it a good strong blend. And like I said, typically I like to do this the night before so it gets sit for a while, but I wanted to show you guys how I make it. So I'm gonna let it sit just long enough while I take the dog for a walk, do my cardio, and then it'll thicken up a little bit over that time, and then I can finish making it, and I'll show you the finished product. All right, quick little stir again after it's sat there for a bit. Like I said, it didn't sit there as long as I would normally let it sit, but long enough. All right. I don't like to miss a single drop, so I try to get every little bit off of this as I can. And then, simple as this, Tupperware container. Use an oversized Tupperware container, okay? Bigger than you think you're gonna need, because this thing does kind of expand while it's cooking. It'll kind of shrink back down when it's done, but if you use a smaller container that like it just barely fits in, it will probably overflow a little bit. So use a container a little bigger than you think you need. And like obviously this is a pretty large loaf because it's a higher carb day, but boom. That's it. Beautiful blueberry loaf. And then that just goes right in the microwave for, I like to do about 12 minutes. All right, 12 minutes, and then I'll take it out, I'll flip it onto a plate, and I might do a few more minutes if it looks like it needs it. So I'll show you when it comes out exactly what it looks like and if I need to put it in for a few more minutes. But I'm freaking hungry, so 12 minutes, I'm starving. Let's hurry it up. All right, 12 minutes in. That's how it comes out. I'd literally just, boom, plop it onto the plate. And yes, I'm gonna put it in. It's still a little moist. And some people might like it that way. They might like it a little more moist like that. I like it a little more dried out. So either I could have actually used maybe a little less water because I had 200 grams of frozen berries and that might have been enough moisture actually. But that's the thing, if you put a little too much water in there, you can always just microwave it a little longer to get it to the texture that you like. So a few more minutes, then I'll show you the finished product. All right, and there is the finished product. The ones with the blueberries are not the prettiest, but they are freaking delicious. So I'll show you, I just kind of slice it like that. And look at that. Nice, like a bread loaf, like I said, but it tastes like a pancake. So I'll usually just cut it up into little bites like this. Throw a little sugar-free syrup on there. Boom. And that, my friends, is a delicious blueberry Broku loaf. Yeah. So good. The only thing I forgot, which I normally would put in there, is some cinnamon. Especially with the blueberry one. The blueberry one, the cinnamon smacks hard. But it's still delicious. I'm going to get this down, get on with my day. Hope you guys enjoyed. Give it a try. Let me know in the comments too if you try a different type of recipe with different fruit or different add-ins. I've gotten crazy in the off season where I was throwing some chocolate chips in there with some peanut butter, and yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do, but keep it a little more basic if you want to keep it a little more healthy. Blueberries, strawberries, bananas, raspberries are good. But anyways, I'm gonna shut up and eat. Give it a try. Let me know.